How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews back with yet another review. A little bit of a Mr. Rogers themed beer in this Massive Beer Review in the form of Evil Genius Brewing. It is their Won't You Be My Neighbor 5% Hazy Pale. Evil Genius. I think I've reviewed something in my channel from them before. It's been quite a while. How do I put this? So, I used to do a radio show. You guys all know that from listening to me yammer on and on continuously about random shit. And the whole premise of the radio show was it was an hour-long radio show, and it was 15 minutes of us talking about beer, and then 15-minute brewer interview, and then 15 minutes of us talking about beer. And we would have brewers on from all over the place. We had everybody from Treehouse, Trillium, Sam Adams, fucking everywhere. And we actually tried to have Evil Genius on. They kind of gave us a little bit of the kind of cold shoulder at the last minute for some weirdo reason. So, kind of put me off a little bit on Evil Genius. So, don't really buy their beers all that much. But my buddy Anthony, he is my barber. I am fresh off a haircut from his barbershop. Loyally Barbershop. You see me wear the t-shirt all the time. They have a couple different locations, but you can check them out in Wilkes-Barre. Awesome spot. But one of his customers actually came in and dropped some of these on him, so he figured he'd be nice enough to drop one off for me. New beer. Gotta review it. Here we go. So it's, like I said, Mr. Rogers themed on the side here. It's a 5% hazy pale. We could write a long description detailing hops, flavors, etc. But with this beer, we want you to enjoy it for what you like about it. We believe a beer should be a shared experience. Have a chat with a friend, a family member, or maybe your neighbor. Yeah, done. What did I say? 5% hazy pale. That'd be that. So yeah, they got the prerequisite C&D on this sucker because with the movie coming out with Tom Hanks and all that stuff, it was kind of a hot button thing. A lot of people trying to make money off this. So what breweries typically do, especially in today's brewing world, is that they will make a beer like this, and they will throw a label on it that garners a C&D, and they will get that C&D, and then they'll never make it again. So no harm, no foul. Basically, they make the beer, they get a C&D, they don't get in trouble, but they get a little publicity from that C&D. So that's kind of their thing. So what does this look like? Actually, it looks like a really tasty hazy pale. You're talking about 5%. You don't expect anything too huge. It's got a nice golden glow haze to it. A really nice head to it. It's kind of got this weird kind of super tight compact bubbles with a little graduating character to it, to a little bit of lacing going on. It actually has a really pretty head to it. And label-wise, it's all right. It's your Mr. Rogers themed stuff, but you got somebody with some tattoos poking out and all that fun stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, that's Evil Genius's thing. They kind of do the whole kind of shtick of kind of taking things from popular culture and pop culture. They had beers called Ma the Meatloaf and stuff like that. So that's their MO. But the beer itself looks pretty damn sexy. Let's get a nose. I mean, it is your citrus-leaning hazy pale. So it doesn't have this kind of juicy characteristic to it. It's more like a pithy, lemon zesty kind of citrus to it. A little bit of soft, kind of like almost like just above Pilsner malt kind of maltiness to it, along with that kind of lemon zestiness to that kind of hop character. Done and done. So yeah, she smells refreshing, chuggable. Let's dive in. Cheers. It's not bad, actually. It's pretty tasty. I mean, it was packaged 2 months ago. It has a nice soft sweetness that kind of finishes really dry with a nice pop of bittering, which I can kind of appreciate quite a bit, especially when you're talking about a lot of new school hazy pales end up having a lot of like a residual sugar, residual sweetness kind of going on. This does not have that. So it's all the parts of that lemon zestiness kind of folding through and kind of falling through the beer itself. Then you kind of pick up in the middle and get this little bit of like a Luden's cough drop kind of lemony sweetness, which I kind of dig. It's not synthetic, but it's not totally organic, so it's floating somewhere in the middle there. And then it finishes with this bittering pop, almost like West Coast resinous bittering with a nice pop dryness. So it's kind of a cool beer in a sense that it gives you multiple layers of the way those hops kind of come off. And that like pithy zestiness, then that little bit of sweet candiness, and then that kind of West Coast resininess with that little bit of dryness. And it kind of fun to have that escalation go from bit to bit to bit and have a nice soft like Pilsner malty kind of graininess to it. I actually really like this beer, to be perfectly honest with you. And the fact that it's already, 2 months old is a really cool portion of the show, because that means it's made really well. And there's nothing negative there. There's nothing as far as off flavors. There's nothing as far as like poopiness. It just comes off as a really nice, well done, citrus leaning yellow, citrus leaning grapefruit, lemon, lime, those kind of things, kind of leaning, kind of fruitiness. And that added bit of that resinous pop at the end with that dryness kind of makes you want to go back for more, which is kind of appreciated, especially in this kind of new school, juicy, hazy, residual sugar kind of beer world. It just kind of works. It works in a pretty good way. So yeah, for me, starting this off with a little preconceived notion, a little bit of kind of like, I'm not a big Evil Genius fan, to have something like this, I would love to buy this. I would buy this actually in copious amounts, because you're talking about 5%, you're low ABV. This is where I want it to be. I'm actually really kind of like tongue-in-cheek saying 5%. I don't think this is 5%. I think it's higher than that. With the whole 450 North thing, with them having their beer being like markedly lower ABV than what they classified, that's kind of like a industry-wide thing, to where the ABV kind of call-out on beers is quite liberal when it comes to what they call alcohol-wise in their beers. This drink's way more closer to 6.5, 7 than it does 5. I kind of think it's a little bit closer than that, but in the grand scheme of things, let's call it as we see it on the label at 5%. This is probably one of the more impactful, one of the more funner, shelfy beers that I've had in quite some time. Well, I guess we're cutting that chase already. So yeah, it is one of the better ones. Expressive, impactful, just really tasty. Well done, citrus leaning, yellow citrus leaning, kind of forward, low ABV hazy. Good stuff. Value and availability, I actually don't know. I call this a shelfie just because almost all Evil Genius beers are a shelf beer. Where do they actually have this brewed? It says here, brewed and canned by Evil Genius on Front Street in Philadelphia, PA. I think that's... Who's on Front Street? I don't think that's Evil Genius, though. Because I know they did contracting at a Susquehanna Brewing Company from where I used to live up in Pittston. But Front Street, it could be them. But I think that might be like Yards or something like that, to where they're brewing this out of. Anyway, regardless, it's coming from Philly. And leave you with, if you like what, will you like this? If you like your hazies, low in ABV, citrus forward, more yellow citrus leaning, and just finishing bitter, finishing dry in a very, very fun way. It's pretty good stuff. I mean, C&Ds aside, the shtick aside, the whole kind of thing that Evil Genius does aside, this is pretty good stuff. Can't deny that. And good beer is a good thing. So there you go. Another review in the books. Thank you very much, Ant, for giving this me. Super cool of him. Dude doesn't even really chug beers all that much. Still hooks me up. So like I said, if you're ever in the Wilkes-Barre area, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, that whole area, you want to get your hair cut, awesome dude. Loyalty barbershop out that way. They'll hook you up. Tell them I sent you. He'll do you proper. So hopefully you guys enjoyed our review. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive. You want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed our review. Hopefully enjoying a little bit of Mr. Rogers right now. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.